In a space of 12 months, a man who had gave them everything, a man who had sacrificed almost his life to the growth of the club Sokoto United, Mansour Abdullahi, has now been slapped by political hand, and those who were supposed to be his pillars turned their back against him and joined forces with the foes. Sokoto United head coach Mansour Abdullahi, the former handler of the Nigerian under-20 ladies side, when we continue to mix football with politics, then we realize that we are yet to step up our game in this country. And not forgetting that elsewhere and behind me there, you can see the man. He is set to sign a huge contract of a 7 years contract with Chelsea Football Club, none other than Victor Osimhen, the man who is rated around 150 to 170 million pounds, is set to make a record British record-breaking transfer scene later this week or probably next week. But this, according to newsmen, he will be unveiled by the month of June. We'll be bringing you more of these stories, most especially that of Coach Mansour, who we spoke extensively with. Due to his journey, he wouldn't be joining us this morning in the program. But subsequently, once events unfold, we will be giving you hints on how this has panned out between Sokoto United, the Commissioner for Sport for Sokoto State, and the head coach of Sokoto United, Coach Mansour Abdullahi. We'll be right back from this quick break, and then we'll start the program in full gear. Welcome back, and my name is Ridwan Musagaw RMG. Don't forget to stream us live on Facebook and also on YouTube. On Facebook is at Politics and Business TV, while on YouTube it is Politics and Business TV/English. Go there, drop a comment, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's go straight to the local scene where we start up in Accra, Ghana. Wafu B under 17 ongoing. Nigerian Super Eaglets are now a Golden Eaglets, I beg your pardon, are now through to the semi-finals of the Wafu B under 17 championship in Ghana after defeating Togolese opponent 3-0 in their group game. In their final group game, the Golden England ended the group stage with a comprehensive win over Togolese via a brace from Abdullahi Adeleke and a solitary strike by Rafael Adams. Edward Echubo won the player of the match of the Golden Eaglets. Have finished top flight Wafu B group stage table. The games was due to be played yesterday, but the waterlogged pitch meant it was moved forward. The other semi-final pairing will see who's Ghana confronts Burkina Faso in local heads. And now let's leave that shot. Let's go straight to Sokoto United. What I was saying earlier, now the former coach of Sokoto United, Mansour Abdullahi, has denied allegations levied against him. Take charge of the team. Now the coach being appointed to take charge of the team is a boy who, or a toddler who was actually studying with Coach Mansour, is now the one who had turned the back in the hands of his own coach to take a party. More stories will be unfolding on this issue, but how can someone claim that not attending Federation Cup matches in Latvia affected the team's performance when they gave me a letter of suspension on the 26th of April while the match was played on the 1st of May? How do I attend the match that has not been played? He rhetorically asked me a question. These are the direct statements Coach Mansour made to me earlier this morning when we conversed. And Abdullahi, Mansour Abdullahi stated this in a reaction when I called him to confirm the eligibility and also the truth of the rumors surrounding him being sacked or him being suspended, which of the two. Surprisingly, he says, and I quote, "The later stated that I was not available for the match with Malum Fashi. How come I was beaten by Malum Fashi fans? Can we show the pictures of those brutal beatings he got from Malum Fashis?" He says, "I really cannot understand what they mean. I have no quarrel also with the team, but the Commissioner for Sport, who on numerous occasions would want to determine the team list, which I bluntly refuse, and such came insubordination," he stated. Well, if politics continue to ravage our footballing terrain, I don't know how we want to move to the next to be a developed country when it comes to times of football. I don't know when we are going to get it right when it comes to football. We see what is happening in the Nigerian Super Eagles camp. The presidents, the glass house NFF are trying to make so many errors. Only to get a coach. It becomes a political affair, and now it has been happening in the local scene for ages. In fact, since the 90s, we know this is happening, but it's becoming worse and worse every day. It is now becoming a normal political affairs for political employees to be taking charge on affairs of footballing matters, which is not so. We just hope that FIFA would not look into this, or CAF would not look into this and set their hammers on us. Well, better luck next time, Mansour Abdullahi, and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Now, of these shots, let's go straight to another local league this time around. One man gone, another man in, and this time around the same scenario, but a bit of simplicity and differences here. For him, Mansour, he had an assistant coach who betrayed him to go pick the coaching crew of Sokoto United. But this time around, Eyimba Football Club of Aba has announced the promotion of assistant coach Olaruwaju Yemi Daniel, who Finidi George had left to handle a leadership role for the Eyimba club as the head coach until the end of the season. Spanning out a statement by the club reader, he says with mixed emotions, the departure of coach Finidi George, who has officially accepted the prestigious position with the Nigerian Super Eagles coach. Finidi George has been an invaluable asset to the club during his tenure, and his contribution have been deeply appreciated. At this junction, we would like to say that we are appointing his assistant based on his own personal recommendation to the club, and we accept whatever Finidi George has to give to this club because he has already done more than enough. Olaruwaju Yemi Daniel is one of his major assistant coach who has been with him ever since he joined Yimba FC in the latter years behind. Congratulations to Olaruwaju. Now this is the difference, where your coach gives recommendation and the other one coach didn't give a recommendation. In fact, it was a backstabbing that got him that particular job at Sokoto United. Well, a club that pays match bonuses, match allowances, feeding allowances of 5,000 naira to the head coach. 5,000 naira as feeding allowance to the head coach per match. Then it means something is definitely wrong. We need to checkmate all our footballing clubs in this country. The LMC are not doing enough. The league management are not doing enough. NNL are not looking inward, and the Nigerian Professional Football League handlers and management are still yet to get it right. But with time, just like everybody say, and then keep hopes on God to see the difference comes out in future to come. But for now, we have administrators who are politicians and not sports administrators, and we will continue to remain this way until we plan to get it right. He who plans to fail fails to plan. Alright, let's leave that shot. Let's go straight to the main man, the man of the talking point tonight. Has been a simultaneous story, back to back, starting with Finidi, starting with Mansour, and then back to Olariwaju. Now, the man who had put blessings into Olariwaju, talking about Finidi George, he has expressed his excitement following the thrill of the inclusion of Nigeria's through into the UEFA Europa League finals. Italian Serie A side Atlanta confronted Germany champions Bayern Leverkusen on Wednesday in the final in Dublin, and it was the Bergamo side that carried the day. Atlanta forward Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman made the headlines as he netted a hat-trick to end the title aspiration of his compatriots Victor Boniface and Nathan Taylor, both in the color of Bayern Leverkusen. According to Finidi George, he stated in his Instagram post, in his X Twitter post, saying that watching Ademola Lookman, Nathan Taylor and Boniface Jr. in the Europa League final was a thing of joy and national pride. Well done, guys, Finidi wrote on X, and what a performance that was from Ademola Lookman. The trio are expected to be part of the Nigerian Super Eagles for the upcoming 2026 World Cup qualifier against the Bafana South Africa and the Cheetahs of Benin Republic. We leave that shot, we go straight to one of the striker again, none other than the man behind me there. You can see him in his blue native Napoli jersey. This time around, he will only be swapping two teams from that jersey, the badge and the league. Bearing any last minute change of a plan, the Nigerian international and the local breeder Victor Osimhen has set to pen a 7-year deal with English Giants Premier League side Chelsea in the summer. According to Team Talk, Osimhen is fully focused on joining Chelsea, even though Mauricio Pochettino has left the role as manager, while the Blues are well ahead of Paris Saint-Germain and Saudi Arabian clubs in the race for the striker. Despite the Pochettino's departure, some of Chelsea's transfer plans are likely to change at the moment. First of all, club officials know that they need to make a huge investment to strengthen the attack, and the main target remains Victor Osimhen. The Nigerian striker, whose release clause is around 130 million euros, clocking 111 million pounds, would be breaking a record summer fee of around 120 to 150 pounds if Chelsea eventually wants to get the Frogs into the Blues. Now he will leave Napoli in the summer, and his desire to play in the English Premier League next season wearing a Chelsea jersey. Sources have confirmed that to Team Talk that Osimhen has already given his informal approval for a possible move to the Blues. Only some aspects of his prospective 7-year contract with Chelsea need to be discussed. Chelsea is willing to pay the centre forward slightly more than that he earned at Napoli. Nothing is signed, but after many months of contract between Chelsea and the 25-year-old, he wants to become a Chelsea key player. An agreement on personal terms is not far away, as the man is certain to come in the coming days between the clubs. However, there is still a lot to do through intermediaries. Chelsea is trying to make Napoli's demands, but as the economic details is going down, there are possibilities that big names need to go out of Chelsea for Osimhen to be in the club. Well, Osimhen's Napoli are adamant to keeping him, but still yet he's yet to sign any contract with the club. Let's quickly go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be glancing through all the transfer scenes, but we'll be looking at Rafael Nadal as he left arm across his chest, feet levitating above the court, and mouth agape as a joke walloped as just a wallop, a trademark forehand. We'll be talking more on what this means after the break. Now the next fortnight will be the final time it will be seen in the flesh at the French Open. None other than the great man who has won the Grand Slam, none more than any other player who turns 38, Rafael Nadal, during the tournament is set to play the clay-court Grand Slam for one last time before retiring, having won record 14 times a single title. The French Open is the most important tournament for my tennis career, according to Rafael Nadal. All the things that I have lived there, enjoyed there, stayed in my heart forever, said Nadal, who faced Germany 4th seed Alexandra Zverev in a tough first round draw. And no player in tennis history has been as synonymous with a tournament as Rafael Nadal has been with the French Open. The Spanish left-hander's dominance at the Roland Garros is why he is known as the king of clay courts. The facts and figures supplied by Opta Ace and International Tennis Federation clearly illustrate his dominance, as Nadal is the only player in history to win 14 single titles at one Grand Slam tournament. And Rafael Nadal has won 12 of his 115 matches, thereby the highest winning percentage of any single player at a major tournament. Nadal is the only player to win 5 successive titles at Roland Garros between 2010 to 2014. I beg your pardon. Rafael Nadal also is the only man to win a 4 Grand Slam title without dropping a set. Without dropping a set. He has gone 6-0, 6-0, 6-5, 4-0, 6-0, 6-0, 5-0, 6-4 in his game. 2008 it happened, 2010 it happened, 2017 it happened, and also in the year 2020 when the corona was actually in full gear, he did it. Rafael Nadal still on has only ever lost to 2 men, Rubin Suderling in 2009 in the 4th round and Novak Djokovic in 2015 in the quarterfinals, 2021 semifinals also. 5 of Nadal's victory in Paris are among the top 20 most dominant Grand Slam men's single title runs by the game's drops. And Nadal won the first 16 of his 22 Grand Slams under the tutelage of his uncle Tony, who watched him hit a tennis ball for the first time aged 3 years and coached him till the year 2017. Congratulations to a big man. Just like in the footballing world, who will say the most decorated tennis players in world history is Rafael Nadal. Alright, back to football and back to the club. We started talking about transfer rumors with talking about Chelsea, as they have drawn an early shortlist managerial option, which includes Ipswich Town's Kieran McKenna, Leicester City's Enzo Maresca, and Brentford's Thomas Frank. Now the Blues are in search of a replacement for Mauricio Pochettino after he left the club on Montreal Constant earlier this week. Now contact has been made with McKenna, who started 8, but who won promotion for Champions League Ipswich Town this season. But there is competition from Brighton, who are looking to replace Roberto De Zerbi. Manchester United are also reportedly interested in McKenna, who will cost more than £4 million in compensation deal. He will leave to be the front runner as Chelsea targets a quick appointment for Maresca. But Maresca, who is 44, who led Leicester City also the championship title and was a coach at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, also is an alternative option. Danish coach Frank, who is 50, the oldest among them, similarly under consideration for his work in getting Brentford to the English Premier League and then consolidating their position in the top flight. It is understood that Chelsea also have a 4th mystery contender on the shortlist. Now Stuttgart manager is the 4th man, Sebastian Hoeneß, who had been tipped as an option but is now believed to be staying in Germany in full gear. Chelsea players are not with their countries meet up for pre-season on the 4th of July, and will embark on the tour in the United States under new management, having finished 6th in the English Premier League and reached the Carabao Cup finals, which they lost to Liverpool last season. Now let's still talk about the transfer scene and also talk about head coaching. Let's go straight to former Manchester United man and legend of Manchester United, Wayne Rooney, is said to have talks with Championship side Plymouth Argyle about their vacant head coach role. Rooney is keen to re-establish his reputation after a disastrous spell at Birmingham last season when he lost 9 games out of 15. Argyle are looking for a new boss after the dismissal of Ian Foster towards the end of last season. Director of football Neil Delsnip and coach Kevin Necki took over for the remainder of the campaign and guided Plymouth to safety, ironically at Birmingham's expenses. Now Delsnip's news Rooney from his time as a coach at Everton's academy. Rooney made 763 appearances as a player during his spells with Everton, Manchester United, MLS club DC United and Derby County. Now he moved into player coach role with the Rams in November 2020 and announced his retirement 2 months later after being named permanent manager. The former England striker oversaw 85 games at Derby before moving back to America to become manager of a former club DC United. Rooney was then appointed the Birmingham manager in October 2023, but he was sacked less than 3 months later after winning just 2 games, drawing 2 and losing 9 out of his 15 games. And let's go straight to Newcastle United as they are open to sign 2 England international with Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 27 years old, and West Ham forward Jared Bowen, also 27 years old, on their radar. Newcastle wants nearly £200 million for 24-year-old Swedish striker Alexandra Isak, who has been linked with Arsenal. Thomas Tuchel, who is a free agent after leaving Bayern Munich, is leading candidates to take over at Manchester United if they sack Erik ten Hag after FA Cup final. Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna is open to taking over at Manchester United if Erik ten Hag leaves. Meanwhile, Brighton are confident to beat Chelsea in hiring McKenna, but could try to bring back former manager Graham Potter if they fail to do so. Chelsea are set to ask newly promoted Leicester City for permission to speak to Enzo Maresca about their managerial vacancy. Nottingham Forest will have to sell players before the end of June to avoid breaching Premier League profit and sustainability rules and being hit with a potential point deduction next season. Bayern Munich are keeping tabs on 29-year-old England Manchester City defender John Stones. Manchester City's England midfielder Jack Grealish is also a target for Bayern Munich. Manchester City are open to selling Brazil keeper Henderson under the right terms if he wants to move to Saudi Arabia. Atlanta's Ademola Lookman is attracting interest from many Premier League clubs after his European final hat-trick, and the 26-year-old Nigerian winger could cost around £30 million. And now West Ham boss Julian Lopetegui wants Wolverhampton English centre-back Mas Kilman to be one of at least 6 signings as he plots a summer overhaul for the Hammers squad. Arsenal interested in Feyenoord and Netherlands goalkeeper Justin Bijlow as a possible replacement for Aaron Ramsdale, who is expected to leave this summer. Burnley are asking for £17 million in compensation from Bayern Munich to let manager Vincent Kompany take over at the Germany club. Former Liverpool and Wales striker Greg Bellamy, who has been Kompany's assistant manager for the past 5 years at Anderlecht and Burnley, will not join him at Bayern. Chelsea will listen to offers for England midfielder Conor Gallagher and English defender Trevor Chalobah, both 24 following Mauricio Pochettino's departure in the summer. Liverpool have turned down their attention to Leeds Dutch winger Cristiano Somerville after option against moving for Newcastle and England Anthony Gordon. Manchester United are leading the race for Crystal Palace France on the 21 winger Michael Olise. Aston Villa are considering terminating the contract of 31-year-old Brazil midfielder Philippe Coutinho, who has not played for a couple of seasons now, for a total 1 season. Nottingham Forest and England winger Callum Hudson-Odoi is said to be a target for Tottenham Hotspur, and that is the size of the package this beautiful Friday morning. Don't forget the big night, the night of football, the night of Manchester, the night of a derby, that has clocked more than 50 years ongoing. The night where the Blues and the Red Devils will sing along. Either one will either wear the golden or the silver medal. Manchester United versus Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Are we seeing a double for Manchester City? Or are we seeing a double back-to-back victory for Manchester United in the FA Cup Finals, scheduled and slated for Wembley Stadium this weekend? Go out there, watch the games. We'll meet on Monday and we'll talk about how it happened. And we'll celebrate with the team that became the victorious one among these two. Even if it goes either way, it still remains at Manchester. If it goes to the Blues, it is still at Manchester. If it goes to the Red, which is already there as the defending champions, it still remains at Manchester. Beautiful morning to you guys. Till we meet on Monday morning. Bye for now.